Hey, we're back.
We found out through one of our subscribers that the information came out from the band. So,
Before it was supposed
yes.
to.
So they probably were told the same thing that we were told about not
Nine.
putting it out. But, time zones, everybody gets mixed up.
Yeah.
So here's what's going on. So on August 10th at the Buffalo Chip, Def Leppard is going to be the headliner that's going to be coming out. But what's so special about this event is they're bringing some death-defying obstacles. I don't know what you want to call it. Stunts. That's going to be, it's kind of like some of the crazy stuff that used to happen over there at the Full Throttle Saloon. Somebody could die in this situation. So we're really early. We're sorry that we came out extra early, but we want to let you know what they're doing is they're doing a high wire act that this guy is going to walk across this high wire, the longest he's ever done. And what's going to happen? We're going to tell you a little bit more about it, but I just want to give you the points in case somebody just doesn't want to hear the big facts. What else is going to happen is a guy is going to jump over that guy as he's walking across the tight wire
on a motorcycle.
Yes, we're hearing there's going to be nothing underneath but us.
No nets.
Holy crap! I'm going to stand off. I'm going to stand off to the side and get better video. Video. Maybe I'll be on the stage shooting from there.
Up there on the top stage.
So this is going to fly across. So what makes this so special is many years ago at the Buffalo Chip, they had Evel Knievel do some jumping back then. So also what this is going to be going on is the group is actually called the Death Wire Daredevil Spectacular. We're going to post up on, I'm reading off my iPad here. It's a little bitty. So this is something that they're trying to get really big because what is this has been 4 decades that the Buffalo Chip has been doing all kinds of different events. And so what they call this is on Thursday, August 10th, Blake the Flying Walder, it's Wallenda, will attempt one of the longest high wire walks of his career. They're calling it the Death Wire Walk over the Sturgis Buffalo Chip Amphitheater with no safety netting. Can you believe that? Maybe you guys could catch him if he falls.
Well, and he's also like the 4th generation. He's the grandson or great-grandson of the original.
Yeah, we'll tell you a little bit about that because it's all written down here. Over the Buffalo Chip Amphitheater with no safety nets, while the motorcycle Wall of Death Daredevil Kyle Ives jumps the motorcycle over him, a fear that even the legendary Evel Knievel and Cal Walton wouldn't attempt. See, those guys were kind of his great-grandfather was one of the original ones that was doing some stuff with Evel Knievel too. Attempted. Blake and Kyle are the descendants of the godfathers of the extreme sports, the Flying Waldo brothers and the Ives brothers.
You know who the Ives brothers are? That's the ones that do the Wall of Death. We know them.
So maybe we'll get you some new info on that at the. I think they're coming over here to Leesburg.
Yeah.
So maybe we can get an interview on them. So let's go down here. There'll be a video that you can put up. We'll link it on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Put a link on there to show you where you guys can watch the video that they had a promoter make a video. It doesn't really show you anything. It's just a lot of pictures and stuff. But 50 years ago, I already read all that. So Rod is.
Highlighted what you wanted to read.
I know. It's so hard to highlight. Look at all that I'm looking at that too. So let her look at it and she can answer some questions while I look here.
I thought sure it was going to be Motley Crue. The Crue and Def Leppard have concerts for the next day in North Fargo, North Dakota. There you go. Maybe Motley Crue wanted the day off. I don't know.
So there's still some days available. So Rod had told us that Thursday before the rally starts, pre-rally, he was going to have a big announcement then. Now, we don't know when that's going to be. Also, the Friday and Saturday at the end has not been announced. And he had told us he was going to try to do something really exciting on that last Saturday. Who knows what that might be. We're going to try to feel him out. These last couple of days have been really hectic. They had a lot of issues, computer issues and stuff to go down. So the Chip had a little bit of trouble just trying to get everything all ironed out and get all this announced.
Organized.
He's told us now that all the bands are all set up. He doesn't need any more bands to fill in because we actually gave him a name. We were actually, I don't know if a lot of you have heard of the War Hippies. We're hearing that they could be the next, like a Chris Stapleton, that they could come up and really be somebody. So we had told him, we didn't tell him the name. I guess you did tell him the name. He didn't say that was one of the bands they had. But I know they're getting.
He said he'd never heard of them.
So they're getting really popular. They're really a rally crowd. They've been. It's actually two veteran guys. I think they're Purple Heart guys or something. And they do band and I kind of listened to some of their music and they sounded pretty good. They've been out for a little while. But I mean, there's a lot of these new bands that are coming up and coming. And some of the things we talked about earlier at the chip, which like I say, we were going to talk to Rod yesterday, but we last 2 days he's just been so hectic on what's going on that we couldn't get all that down. So today's big news was Def Leppard is going to be coming out on August 10th, which that's
Thursday.
Thursday. So Thursday night is going to be Def Leppard, and they're going to have this high wire
Death-defying event.
just stunts, two stunts, because you got a guy walking across the wire, the longest one, and then a guy going to jump on the motorcycle
over him as he's walking
so
across
that's
the
the
wire.
Ives brothers. We've had them on our channel,
Yep.
and we're pretty sure they're going to be in Leesburg. I didn't know they did jumps. Oh, this might be quite an adventure. So we're going to talk to them. Hopefully they're going to be at the next couple rallies. They're either here or they're in Panama City. I seen them on
Yeah.
one of the things that I was looking at. It said the Ives brothers was coming. So they're the ones that usually do the death.
I think they are in Leesburg because I think, remember, that's where the grandparents lived.
Oh yeah.
And they said they love them to come to Leesburg because the grandparents get to see the grandsons.
So we'll see if they're
I
there.
know how they feel.
If we're there, we'll get an interview from them, and we'll get Rod on the phone and tell them they can talk to us. And we'll get an interview from them and tell you about what they're expecting and what they're doing. So it's gonna be pretty neat. I think it's kind of what they're trying to do at the Buffalo Chip, and we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. But I mean, one of the things you're doing when you do an event, do a big thing like this, like the Buffalo Chip, you try to do something different. Everybody's always looking for the #1 band in the world to get there and all this kind of stuff. And everybody, and the problem with this is there's a big wide age group. We got people that are 21 years old there and got people that are probably 90 years old there. So you got a really big group of people that you're trying to satisfy with music. So you try to balance that. And in the past, they try to get the rappers and stuff to come out there kind of towards the end and things like that. But one of the other things I wanted to kind of emphasize too, when people are kind of saying, there just isn't like the Full Throttle just put their announcements out. I wasn't totally shocked about that. Colt Ford's there again. I think he's played about 4 or 5 years in a row, maybe more.
He played, I think when we were there, it was the first time, I guess he was up and coming, and
that's probably about 10 years ago.
that was when Tanya Tucker was there. I think she opened for Tanya Tucker.
So that's been quite a while ago. So, but yeah, and they got Slaughter over there, Slaughter, right?
I think so.
I don't know, I'm pronouncing it probably wrong. My mind just
Slater.
my mind just went by. But I mean, other than that, they got a lot of tribute bands and that's great. But I mean, you're looking to it. This is an off year. And I've always liked off years because that's what gives you more time.
We're a little off.
Well, you get to ride rides. It's not quite so crowded, not so many people. Like we like a lot of these concerts that are coming up. I'm not a big Def Leppard fan, but we know like she likes. What song do you like?
Good, George.
No, what song do you like by Def Leppard?
Pour Some Sugar on Me. Oh yeah, that's a good dancing song.
You out there strutting your stuff.
I like that song.
And
Some of my favorite songs to dance
there's
to.
a lot of the bands this year we really like.
That's what they said.
To where you get to see like I say, if you're in that 70s, 80s generation, there's a lot of really good bands. But I mean, even our grandsons, they like our our oldest grandson, which is 17. He wanted to go about 4 years ago to Laughlin, Nevada when George Thorogood was playing. He wanted to hear Bad to the Bone. He knew some of those songs. Yeah. We're like, how did you hear that stuff? He says, I don't know. But he just liked it. So there's some songs like that. We've always been big REO fans. Styx, we've seen them. Yeah. Pretty much all the bands that are there, other than Limp Bizkit and the Saturday and Sunday bands.
Coe.
Yeah,
K-O-E.
those two, the ones that are doing.
Whiskey Myers.
Yeah, we've never seen those two, but pretty much everybody else that they've got on the stage, we've seen already. ZZ Top, we've seen 2 or 3 times. We've seen REO Speedway. We couldn't even count how many times. Styx, this will be the second or third time we've seen Styx. Leonard Skinner, I think we've seen him at least once. Mm-hmm. And Def Leppard, I think we've seen him once. So all these bands we've seen, like I say, Limp Bizkit we've never seen. We do know a few of their songs and stuff. So overall,
that's what he was trying to say too. It's also an off year, so they're not like going for the big shock factor. So that's why maybe some of the bands aren't as impressive as they might be either in the 85th or Rod's 45th, which will be the year after the 85th. So
So a lot can happen, and one of the things I always tell people too, if the only reason you're coming to a rally is because of the concerts, you probably really shouldn't come. There's a lot of great concerts going on in Las Vegas, in Los Angeles, Florida here. I can't believe all the concerts they have down here in Florida. A lot, not got nothing to do with rallies. I mean, just about everybody country wise is down here in Florida playing someplace.
Well, Taylor Swift's played. This must be, I don't know, her starting point. And she's every other weekend. She's in Tampa. She's down in Miami. She's all over. I mean, since we've been down here, probably the last couple of weeks, she's played 3 or 4 concerts around.
But it's just shocking that I never realized Florida was such a big concert venue for people.
People down
So maybe they come down because this is kind of in between the hurricane season and
Got to get it in Florida while they can.
yeah. So I don't know if that's why they're down here, but I mean that's Sturgis, which is like what I always say. Sturgis is the granddaddy of rallies, and if you're really thinking about that's the only reason you're coming, you probably shouldn't really come. What makes these rallies is the concerts is the icing on the cake. Depending on what color you want. It's still. So you got
Different layers of fillings.
You got some of the best riding in the world in Sturgis.
Okay.
And people argue with me all the time. And I said, the idea is there's not just one ride here, like the Tail of the Dragon or the Million Mile Ride or whatever you want to do. There's dozens of rides you can go on, and there's great things to see. You're in some great locations. You're going to meet some of the best people in the world we meet in Sturgis, and you got to spend time and talk to people. We never did this until we started our channel. We pretty much went to a rally, did 1 or 2 things, did the same crap every time we went. The years we went. Hung out at the same place, never experienced anything else. Now that we do what we do and we talk to more people and see people, it's Sturgis is a different place. It's a different atmosphere. It's almost like Leesburg, we don't know how it's going to turn out now with possibly rain off and on the whole week. But I mean, who cares about the rain? It's not going to rain the whole freaking time, just like today. It's supposed to rain today and it's a little cloudy, but the sun's out.
But it's Florida.
And weather, you're going to get weather in Sturgis too. It can freaking snow, which it has on us. We've had snow flurries in Sturgis, and we've had hail. We had 105 freaking degrees for almost the whole rally.
Year.
Yeah, it's never been that hot. It's been 105, but it's never been that hot for the whole freaking rally. Tornado storm, everything.
It's cooler back home in Arizona than it was up there in Sturgis last year.
So you got to look at that, and the concerts and there's great concerts all over the place. We're going to stay on.
Said the kickstands has Jasmine King coming here tonight, so
we're posting. We're posting that up there, and we're big fans of ones at Iron Horse.
Oh, Hairball.
Hairball. We really like them because it's a really good tribute band, and they dress up different for each act that they sing. If it's Kiss or if it's Van Halen or whoever, they put all the get up on, and every night's a different concert. And sometimes I find out. Especially, we're big Journey fans, but of Stephen Perry, none of the new Journey. So we actually like the tribute bands, the really good tribute bands that sound more like Steve Perry than the current guy that's singing. But that's us. But a lot of times also when you go and hear a tribute band, you hear more hit songs. A lot of times when these bands come out, and I'm hoping none of these will do this at the Buffalo Chip, but you get that.
They got a new album coming out.
You get sticks that says, "Hey, we got a brand new album coming out." I'm like, ain't nobody gonna buy it, dude. We're still listening to the old stuff, And they'll play 4 or 5 of those stupid songs that none of us ever heard of, and you're not gonna remember them when you leave. They should do a melody at the end and say, "Hey, here's some of the songs we've got coming on the new album. Check it out if you want. Download it, whatever you want to do." That would be great. But when you go to these concerts and they do that, they'll play 1 or 2 really good songs, and then they play 4 or 5 off. Hey, here's the new album one. We want you to listen to it. And you ever notice, just like ZZ Top, I remember ZZ Top did that probably 10 or 15 years ago. I don't think they sold 10 of those CDs back then. I don't know. None of the songs ever made it anywhere. So they weren't popular songs. So, which is fine.
So Chad, if you haven't already asked to be in Deep Lake section, when you signed up to stay at the Chip, that section's already full. So depending on what section you told them you wanted to be set up in.
Or if you didn't tell them. Well, it depends on what you paid for.
Yeah.
Like I say, if you watched the video the other day, most people, they stick you in the
40,
the South 40. The South 40 is the biggest campground area. It's a field. you're going to get a little more dust up there, a little more dirt, a little more mud if it rains. Not muddy, because it feels pretty packed down. But that's where they normally stick you. You're more than happy to come over to our area and visit. And when we got events going on, and we'll be letting you know about more about those events. We're planning on having a barbecue on Saturday. We're going to have a bunch. We actually have a bride and groom that's going to be getting married on opening day
That's
by
Friday, the
by
3rd.
the mayor of Sturgis is going to do the vows. Should be on the main stage, should be right after the grand entrance. And we'll be having them come on real soon. And we're going to explain and introduce you guys to them, to you, because they've been subscribers. Well, he's been a subscriber of ours for a really long time, probably almost from the beginning. And his future wife met us this last year in Sturgis. So she's newbie. Well,
She's new to our channel,
she met us on the
Yeah.
channel.
I guess.
So she's new to them, and they can kind of tell you a story. And because a lot of you were saying, like Neil's a big one of our big fans. He's probably still in bed, and up there in Alaska. And but they're a really good couple. There's some great people. We want you guys to all meet them to where if you're there for opening day, you can help be involved with their ceremony and stuff. They've got some really neat things are going to be going on. They got a guest book they'd like to have everybody sign that is at the chip. And it'd be kind of neat to have, all the people, both of them have been married before and been divorced a few times. And it's just a good time marriage. They're old time friends for a long time. And they hooked up in Sturgis last year and decided after that they were meant to be together and they're going to spend the rest of their lives together. So it's going to be kind of neat. We're going to have that opening day in Sturgis. It's not publicized or anything like that. There's ways that you can, if you're interested in getting married at the Buffalo Chip, not so much on opening day, but you can contact us and we can get you more information on how you can renew your vows or get married and at the Buffalo Chip. You can get married out front, you can get married in the bar, you can get married wherever you want. We can set that all up for you, and there is no additional cost. Buffalo Chip is not charging. There is a few venues out here that are in the process of starting to charge people for wedding ceremonies and things like that. For instance, I'm an officiant in the state of South Dakota, and so I can actually do your wedding too. We can live stream it if we're there. We can live stream it for your family and friends can see it, or you can save it on YouTube and you can watch it forever, or we can send you a copy or whatever. So it's just some really neat things that can be done. And there's other things that can also be done at the chip if we know a long time. For instance, Mike, when they come on, they're going to tell you some of the things that they've already arranged with the Buffalo Chip when it comes to food and a dinner afterwards and how they got their flowers and all that different stuff to where if you decided, a lot of people do get married in Sturgis. It's like going to Vegas. But I mean, we got a few questions.
Well, they did. Dave's Crazy Trailer said they had baseball-sized hail in Deadwood. I don't know if that was recently or not, but over here in Tampa, just last night was it last night?
Last night. You wrote
Had
them.
inch-size hail.
We can get any.
Yeah, it was
Sprinkled.
crazy. I mean, I
Didn't really
wouldn't
rain
think,
that hard.
no. And Chad says he's already signed up to stay with your crew. So then
Okay.
you're good.
Yeah.
We would need to get a count of exactly how many. So when we get there, we're going to rope off so many spots for all of you
We'll
guys.
know.
So we'll all be together.
We'll know once we get there. They don't, for some reason, well, it's all about privacy. But once we get there, they think you should all be telling us who's staying with us and who's not. We know some of the people that are staying, but we have really no idea. It could be 10 RVs there. There could be 15 RVs there. We really don't, 20 RVs. We don't really know a number. We do have an idea because a couple of people have actually rented trailers, so they'll already be down there.
Like George's one. We know
Yeah.
George.
So the trailer won't be there yet, but they'll be there when they come in. We'll have an area all ripped up. We have one of our friends from California. She's going to be right next to us. She's coming in pretty early, so she wants to be pretty close to us.
We're gonna find a spot big enough for her.
Big old motorhome, a 45-foot motorhome. And well, she ain't bringing a Jeep though, is she?
No.
Okay. So she don't need any extra room for that. So, but I mean, just like I think George's got a trailer, he's gonna pull behind him, so we got to find a place to stick that because there's all different things we can get for you if you're staying in our group. You don't have to worry so much about all the red tape and things like that. Now, if you're staying anywhere else in the campground, you don't have to worry about that. If you're staying in Blue Sky or you're up at the top in, I forget what the stage one's called, that looks over the stage. But wherever you're at, you don't have to worry that you can't be involved with what we have going on.
You just come on over.
That's right. We're not that far away. It's not that hard to get to us. You can ride your bike. We just have a very unique area where we're at. Couple great reasons. We have a private entrance that we can get in and out of. It's actually for our employees only, so they don't normally let people drive through there. We shouldn't have any trouble getting in and out of that gate. You have to very little gravel that you have to drive on if you're somebody that doesn't really like to ride on the gravel roads and things like that. You pull out of that back gate, you make a quick left. It's probably not even 20 feet, and you're on the asphalt road, and it'll take you right at the side of the chip. We have bathrooms that are probably, I don't know, 50 yards away, 25 yards away, not very far. Bathhouse. We're right there by the stage, not the stage, but we're right there by first aid. Stage is over by us, but I mean, it's a pretty far walk. We're probably a couple 100 yards away from the stage, maybe even farther than that. Could be a quarter of a mile.
And it's facing it's
Angle.
facing this
So
way.
the
And
staff,
we're over here.
the staff recommended this area for us. Told us, I asked them a couple years ago, I said, if you had a choice to have any one place in the campground, where would you like to stay? And both of the girls up front said this area, and they also gave us a couple other areas. And we had an area we really wanted to go to, which would have been great, but we would have only been able to put about 6 trailers there. But it ends up being, it's a group that's been going for about 15, 20 years. It's some business that's been taking a section. They guarantee you.
Harding County or something.
It's like us. If we decide we like this area, we can take more of it next year. We can tell him when we leave, hey, we've got like 5 more people that want to book right now and get into our area. So we could get that whole area back there. There's probably 50 to 100 spots back there behind us, behind that area. And it's all fenced off. Got our own little pond back there. I don't know if I'd swim in it, but you could fish in it if you wanted to fish inside. I don't know if there's any fish in there.
Harley One Forever says, "What's up, guys? You just got on. Did you
So
miss
we
the
got
announcement?"
Def Leppard coming on August 10th.
10th?
We also have Daredevils. We're going to have a longest tight walker going across the front of the stage. And during that, we're going to have a motorcycle jump over that guy while he's on the tightrope with no netting underneath.
It's going to be exciting. A nail biter.
Yeah, hopefully nothing bad will happen.
No.
And
These
so
guys are pretty
they'll probably practice.
professional.
We'll probably, I don't know how they're going to practice because they'd almost have to get there before everybody else gets there.
And that would be even before
No,
the Adventure Fest. Is there a week between?
yeah, because it's the 19th, the 20th, 20th.
All right.
The Buffalo Chips also have an Adventure Bike Week, which we're going to go talk to that real soon. We're going to get a hold of the promoter that puts that on. We've been going to it the last 2 years. If you got an adventure bike, like, hey, you bought one of those new American, what's the Harley one?
The what now?
Americade. What's the new Harley Davidson motorcycle, the adventure bike? It's called what?
Pan America.
That's it. Pan America. If you got one of those bikes, you want to come to this adventure. It's a really great thing. It goes on at the chip. It starts on Thursday. I think it's like the 20th.
20th.
Or 21st it starts and goes that whole weekend.
It starts next
And they go
weekend.
on all these great rides. They got all this stuff planned out. They got some vendors there. It's not like Sturgis, but it's not bad. They have about 200 to 300 bikes show up each year is getting bigger and bigger. Last year was really great. They had a lot. They have some professional people come in. You get to ride they bring in I think they had BMWs and Triumphs and
Yeah, all kinds.
Sturgis. Harley came and they brought all their adventure bikes and you can take them out and you can test drive them and they had paths and they had competition. It was really neat. And it's something that if you're an adventure bike person and you like to learn more and find out more and meet a lot of other people and go on some really great off-roading in
They've got it all
Sturgis.
mapped out for you.
And then they also let you go on the back 40. Way back there, if you ever go over there, what's it called over there?
Camp Zero.
Camp Zero behind that, where they have the mini bike races and all that land in the back. You get to go back there and ride on that stuff. So it's kind of neat and kind of exciting. So there's a lot of neat things going on this year. And you're going to see that the Buffalo Chip the next few years is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger to be
Everything.
Yes. They're heading for their 45th. Is probably going to be one of the largest parties you've ever seen. And building up because it is like Rod's the owner and he's getting older every day. We're all getting older every day. And he just doesn't know, he doesn't say this, but I say this. He doesn't know how many years he's still got that he can keep doing this. And his kids work there too. They kind of have but they don't have
effort.
They don't have the fire that Rod has. I take my hat off. And no matter what anybody says, and some people don't like the buffalo chip. I think way more people love the buffalo chip than hate the buffalo chip because there's a reason that the crowdedest, the busiest venue that's out there. Yes, there's things they could do to make it better, and they are doing. They're upgrading things. They put in some asphalt roads last year. They're doing a bunch of work in the arena this year again, the amphitheater area. They're doing a bunch of upgrades. They're redoing the entrance. It's going to be. We don't know for sure everything that's going to happen there, but the entrance is supposed to be this year is going to be a lot smoother coming in. If you're one of these people that have come in on Friday or Saturday of the opening weekends, you know how long it is to sit in line and get in there.
Oh, this one says private. Bull says
It's private.
this video. It says video is private. There it went. I don't know what that means.
No,
Anyway.
the first one was private. The first one, it was
Yeah.
private.
Because we started and we thought we were going to get to go live at 9 o'clock with this. And then
But we
they
ended up
said no.
deleting it, so it's
Yeah.
gone. So it should be, well, there's people commenting, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's on.
Yeah. So, that's what Chad said. You can't stop time. No. The other day he says, I'm dying. I said, we're all dying. We're all we eat one day closer to death every
Yeah.
day.
Yep, that's true. And as I say,
Just make sure you're right with Jesus.
the rallies are, it's a lot of fun. And I think this year with the Buffalo Chip, and people wonder, hey, you were at the Buffalo Chip a year or two ago, and then you weren't there last year. What makes you come back? Are you being paid to come back? No, we're not getting paid to come back. The Buffalo Chip has set up. So when I look at the Buffalo Chip, turn my volume down. I didn't think we were on, and we are on. We deleted the first one. I made it private, and I deleted it because I didn't want people clicking on it, and then I had to go back into the Facebook pages and delete them. But what I look at the Buffalo Chip is, I can't believe a venue. Okay, you look at the Buffalo Chip, and I would probably say everybody that's been to Sturgis in the last 40 years has been the Buffalo Chip at least once. We did. We went and seen Kid Rock. We seen Kid Rock 15 years ago, or whatever, when he was there and the lightning came down. We were in that crowd. Had never been to the Buffalo Chip ever before that. First time we went. And then when we stayed there in 2021, I had no idea that this place was like a Disneyland for adults and all the things that they've got going on. And it was like, I was trying to cover what was going on, and we'd be pulling out. I'm like, oh crap, look what they got going on. Pull over,
Well, you're going to do everything we did before and do the Buffalo Chip. You just can't do it.
Yes, it was just way too much stuff. So then
they haven't announced those yet. The last Friday and Saturday, those are the only two dates. They haven't made any announcements for yet.
We're being told that the bands are all etched out now. They're all done. They're all ready just for them to make the announcements. We haven't heard who they are. I was hoping, which I don't, this is just speculation. I was hoping that the last Saturday night would be like a Kid Rock type setup. Because we had heard originally he was going to be the opener. And Rod had, and see the problem with when you look at all these bands and you're like, why can't they get Chris Stapleton? Why can't they get Jelly Roll? Why can't they do this? Why can't they do that? Why can't they do this? Well, here's how it works. Because we talked to Rod in October. We were there in October last year, and we sat down with him and said, hey, what's going on? Do you already know all the bands? And he's like, actually, I have none yet. He says, this is nuts. So what happens is he actually spent 4 days with Kid Rock at his house. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he showed me all these pictures with Kid Rock and all this stuff. And I'm like, so he's coming. And he's like, tentatively, Kid Rock wants to do the Buffalo Chip. But he has a promoter that they have to go through. And it's up to the promoter to decide what they do. One, they have to check with all the band members and make sure, somebody doesn't have a wedding going on, or like the drummer or something can't go because they got something going on. So that sometimes affects it. They also look at scheduling of other tours. Like, for instance, Kid Rock isn't coming out till June of this year. So he's not even doing any concerts. He was actually talking about retiring. So now he's coming out in June. That's why I thought, okay, he might come out on that first Saturday. Well, then when they announced the first Saturday, I called Rod up and I'm like, dude, what happened? And he says, I told you about the promoter. They've never okayed the concert. And I'm like, so it looks like it's not a good done deal. And he's like, no, at this moment, we have no booking for our Kid Rock. And this was back when they announced the first band on Saturday. So we haven't asked him again. But I don't know anything. So don't say, hey, Kid Rock's coming the last Saturday. I don't know if he does or not. I'm just saying speculation.
It would be fun if he did.
That I said, because what they're trying to do with Sturgis is this last 2 years have sucked. when
The
it
second
comes to
half.
the last of the weekends. It's if you're coming to if you're coming to the rally and you want to come to the most exciting part, the pre-rally all the way till Wednesday of the week of it, the rally is going to be the crowdedest, the most people going to be there. The second half now is dying, and I think it's got a lot to do with Black Hills Harley. Black Hills Harley now starts the full weekend before they open up their venue with their vendors. So they have 75 to 80% of their vendors on property all through that week. So now Sturgis is starting, same thing. When we talk to Sturgis, they're going to start having events now, start on Thursday and Friday too, pre-rally stuff. And they're seeing the same thing. And what's used to be, when we used to go to the Sturgis rally, when we first started doing this, we went the Thursday before the rally. That way we got our little bit of riding in before it got too busy. And we left the Thursday of the rally. And so that way we seen all the action. We heard the last weekend, which everybody hears that. The last weekend's a lot of local kids come in on Saturday and stuff like that. And a lot of places have trouble. If you guys watch the old Full Throttle TV show, he just had a video the other day from the first year that we went.
Yep.
And they were saying how much trouble they had on that Saturday. Well, that's one of the reasons we didn't hang around on the Saturdays. And
We always missed Jackal though too,
Yeah.
because he played that Thursday and we left that
Yeah.
Thursday morning.
So we never got to see Jackal until later on. We've seen Jackal since then. Before that, they played in different places. So we got to see Jackal before we ever seen him at the Full Throttle. But that's beside the point. But it's not, I forget where I was going.
Crazy Dave's Crazy Trailer thinks he's going to try Hog Heaven this year. A lot of people are saying Motley Crue and Def Leppard are playing together. They've only announced Def Leppard, so I don't know.
See, that happens with a lot of things.
Oops.
It's like one of the other bands that is playing there normally plays with somebody else too. Leonard Skinner's playing with somebody else too. But see, same thing. Leonard Skinner's going to be here next week at
Panama City.
Panama City, and he's not coming out with nobody. So there is these bands that see a lot of times. That's the thing I was talking about earlier, and I didn't get to that. I kind of got off what my track is. There's a lot of bands that will not play at motorcycle rallies. They're not interested.
Or
in
they
that.
won't play at outside events.
That too. Or they want a venue that's going to be, because it's like, I don't know anything about the legal. I don't know anything about contracts. I don't know anything about anything. So I don't know if
A lot of red tape's all we know.
So I don't know how much if the band gets full pay, if it gets rained out. Now that's one of the reasons I think the Buffalo Chip, for instance, they do not sell concert tickets. You buy entrance to the campground.
Camping pass.
Well, you get entrance to the campground. You can stay that night. Like one of our subscribers, that's what he said. He's got a tent that he's going to put up at the Buffalo Chip when he gets there. And 3 nights that he's going to see concerts, he's going to sleep in his tent. And he's got a campsite someplace else that he goes. But he says, hey, that way I don't have to fight the traffic. I can pitch my tent. And anybody, if you have a pass to get to the campground and you think you have a ticket for the motorcycle or for the concert, you have a camping pass. You can stay all night. You can find a picnic table and stretch out. There's not a lot of picnic tables there, but you could find something to stretch out on. You could bring a sleeping bag. You could bring you a pup tent and throw it out there, get you a lean tube and lean it onto your motorcycle and sleep underneath it. That is fair game. And wherever you can find a spot, as long as it's not in a camping or RV area, like you can't put a tent in front of our RV unless you asked us to do that. Already got a few people going to do that already. So you can, if you have a tent, you can stay in our area if we have room to put you. We actually have one of our photographers now. We're waiting to find out. His 2 sons that are just now getting ready to turn 18 or 19. They do pictures. He's the one that did our Topless Tuesday, but his sons may come and work with us for 4 or 5 days on opening day and help us film stuff going on at the Buffalo Chip. So that'll be kind of exciting. You see these 2 young guys running around, they're twins, and it'll be kind of neat.
One of them's our godson.
But they're going to probably stay in a tent in front of our trailer. And
well, somebody else had just said that the only thing wrong with, and I know he's going to go off on a tangent here, with the Buffalo Chip is they need shade for tents.
And there is shade, but it's very limited.
And you got to get there early.
But you also have to watch, which we seen last year when we went out there in October. You could see people that ran over trees and pulled them out of the ground. Remember that when we went by there and said, look, there was a tree here. You can see the circle. It's gone. Somebody drove over it and pulled it out of the ground. So we plant a little baby tree and some moron backs over it and kills it. Well, what are you going to do? You're never going to get any shade for the RVs. Okay. That's not going to happen. You're in a field, but there is shade. But the problem is One, you have to get there very early, and we'll be talking about that soon on a video about the chip. That if the bad news about the chip is you can actually come in the Monday before the rally ever starts. So that's what, July
31st.
31st, you can come into the Buffalo chip. Here's your best bet. If you got a tent or you got a bunch of friends that got tents and you want to do this, you come in and you pay for those days. You bring your little tent and you bring you a whole bunch of construction, some yellow caution tape, and you bring you some stakes. You drag them in the ground, you put your tent up, you put some other junk sitting out there, and you can rope off the biggest area you want in a tenting area, and it is yours. Now, if somebody tears it down, it's your argument to fight for that. But the idea would be, if you're going to come out there, I would stay with my stuff. I would sleep there. I would be the guy. Somebody need you guys. If you've got a big group that wants to come out and get some shaded area, there is some great shaded area. Now, we were out there. You can go back and look at a video we did back in October last year, probably more in November, that said, "Is there really shade in the
At
chip?"
Buffalo chip.
We show you where it's at. And I tell people, you really want shade in the morning. So when the trees are this way, I want my tent on this side. Yeah, it's going to be hot in the afternoon. If you're inside your tent in the afternoon, there's something wrong with you. You come to the wrong place. You're supposed to be out riding your bike or partying or whatever. By the time I come back, like we did in Daytona, we had no air conditioning in our trailer because we had to plug up just to 110. We never had to fire the generator up because by the time we got back after dark, it had cooled down enough. We had the fans inside. We got 12 volt,
open.
and we were just fine. We had one night that was a little miserable, but it was we were able to sleep through it, so it wasn't so bad. So you could get away with that. But now we were out in the sun with the trailer. So we just had the shade by it cooling down in the evening. So it could in a tent. And if you have it, the reason I say you want shade in the morning, because if you're not an early riser, let's say, hey, you partied till 3 in the morning, you want to sleep till 9 or 10 before you get up. You want to have a little bit of shade to keep that tent. Because I've talked to some of the girls that work at the rallies that have tents, and they said at 5 a.m. they have to get up because their tent's about 110 degrees inside already.
And they don't get in until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
So
2 hours of sleep.
there is shade there.
Terry said he's been there the Monday before pre-rally and all the shade was already taken. There is, besides Bikini Beach, if you turn down where Blue Sky is and then turn left like you're going up to the shower house, there's some trees in that cove in that area back there. So there's some shade there also.
The guy that got there last year, and I think he put it all up for himself, which it was kind of an ass of this guy. You can actually see it in the video that I just did that gave you a tour. When you came around that corner, the guy that had the cargo trailer, I think it ended up being him. I never seen anybody else there with him. He cordoned off a very large area there. That we complained to the Buffalo chip about that, and that's what they said.
First come, first serve.
That's right. We're not here to be the police. And as long as somebody's not in an RV spot that they took, but you have to look around. And yes, it is true, but you can get there early and early. I don't think, not to say, we weren't there last year at the very beginning.
Yeah, but where we were there,
that video that you watched, that video that I just put up was it 2 days ago? It's the one on its tour of a campground, is what it's called.
Last Saturday?
That's the last. That video was shot midweek of pre-rally. So there was still tent when you went around that corner over in Bikini Beach. Now you just gotta you gotta look where you're looking at. That's why I said some people get very possessive. Same thing if you go out to Glencoe. When you go along City Road there, street or whatever it's called there, people get nasty. There's people that will fight you that aren't there, that they've been in the same spot for 20 freaking years and they show up on Friday. And if you got there on Thursday in your spot, you're going to have a fight with these people. And same thing with Glencoe. They ain't going to step up. If you want to call the police, you can call the police, but they ain't going to do nothing about something that's happened on the campground.
They say he knows the guy that's statued by the amphitheater always gets first choice.
And so, but we're there by July 19th. Now, I'm not saving anybody's spot. We're saving our own spots. But if you get there early and somebody if they don't have it roped off and they give you a hard time, you can come track us down. And we'll go up to the office and we'll get back down there. I'm not saying most of the people that go to the Buffalo chip are pretty decent. We've never really seen, just like the one group, there's a big group that's over there behind Bikini Beach. We met last year. There's about 30 or 40 guys that are camping in that area. How they all met, is right there in that spot. They don't know each other from squat before that. So there's nothing wrong with just like that. I'd be happy to take you down to that group and say, hey, here's some of our subscribers. They're really great people. We'd like you to introduce you to your group. They'd like to join in with you guys because they want to make some new friends. And that's really
Maybe
about all you
look at
have to do.
camping
You'll
with
probably
them.
find a place you can stick a little tent in there. And if you're a friendly guy or a friendly gal, well, friendly gal, you'll get a lot farther probably. But a friendly guy, you know, it's all about, you know, talk to people. You know, and I think Sturgis, and that's one of the things I always say about Sturgis. And the chip is we're going to spend a lot of time at the chip this year. We're going to spend a lot of time talking to people. I don't think if you know if you're bringing like 50 people or 20 people into a spot and they've only got a room for maybe one or two tents, they're probably going to fight with you. You know, we don't want all that congestion. Or if you're somebody like I don't know what the group is that is there. It's older guys, 40s and up over in this area that we talk to. They cook their one guy's in charge of all the cooking and all the stuff, and everybody sends him the money, and he's the first one that gets there. He brings his bike on a trailer. He brings a bunch of the tents and all the big equipment he brings. And he's in charge of the official cooker of the rally, and they probably pay for his campsite, pay for him to go. I don't know what he gets. He gets something for all of his hard work. But once again, he just met those guys the last 40 years at the chip. So, which is kind of neat. And so you could be one of those people that meet those people too. Just like last year, we had a guy from Iran that actually watches our channel here. He could be on this morning, all I know. And he came to the chip and he chased us down. It was kind of like pre-rally too. We were over there filming the stage or something, the new progressive sign up or something. And he come running over and he's like, Bob and Dan, Bob and Dan. I'm like, hey, how's it going? He goes, I watch you, and I'm from Iran. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. He said, I came to Sturgis Buffalo Chip because you guys talked about it last year. And I'm like, wow. He rented a bike over in Washington State from Eagle Rider and rode the bike over. And I said, well, did you come by yourself? And he's like, oh, yeah, I came over by myself. I said, where are you staying? And he said, well, I got a tent over here, right over here behind the stage over here. He was kind of behind Bikini Beach, and there's another area over there. It's more for employees, but he was kind of like in that general area. And I said, well, have you got to meet anybody yet to go riding? Oh, yeah, I've been here 3 or 4 days. I've already got a bunch of guys we've been going on rides with. I made some new friends. And I'm like, there you go. That's one of the things I love about Sturgis. You don't really see too many buttholes. Now, people do get drunk and get stupid, and that's going to happen. But overall, most people are pretty decent people, but you could get stuck behind somebody up in the back 40 or wherever you're at that's cranking up their stereo all night long and partying. Well, I always say the same thing. When you get up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, you crank your stereo off and let them have a little bit of that in the morning. When the guy gets rolling out of bed, moaning and groaning, what are you doing? Well, man, you kept me up all night. He says, I'm awake now. I'm up. I want to party now this morning. Have a beer with me. And, you know, maybe the guy will settle down. Maybe he won't. But I mean, we stayed at the Buffalo Chip in 2021, and we were very lucky. The people that were right behind us that had a tent this far from the back of our trailer couldn't even put the door down in the back. We came back one day and they were backed up right up against us. And never heard a peep out of those people. There was 4 or 5 tents of them back there. And I think they came up and asked us something after we were there.
I think they said they watched us.
Maybe they did. I don't know. But they were very nice people, younger couples. But I mean, there's 4 or 5 of them. Most time we never even see them.
No.
I think they were out partying all night when they came back because
they just crashed.
The bad thing was next to us was the pull through to get to the back behind us. But we really didn't even have that many motorcycles. We didn't. When people say that you can't sleep at the chip, that's bull crap.
We did.
Yes, and we're not the heaviest of sleepers, but it's like when I talk about on that video, if you watch a little bit of the tour, and we'll do a bigger tour of the Buffalo Chip when we get there, because when we were there last year, we hadn't sat down and talked to the Buffalo Chip for sure about what we were going to get to do with the Buffalo Chip, because what we want to do is we want to cover everything that's going on with the chip. We want to show you what makes the chip what it is. And you could have been going there for 40 years and you might say, which it is. People go to Sturgis all the time. We got people on our channel here that have been going to Sturgis for 40 years. And they always tell me every time we meet them, you know, you always show me something I never knew. And that's what we try to do. And I think this year with the Buffalo Chip, we're going to show you some stuff that you're going to say, wow, I didn't know they did that. Wow, I didn't know that happened there. Wow, I didn't. It's like people were telling us, oh, people poop in the showers. I don't know where you're at. Well, we shower every single. We're actually at a campground now that's a whole lot nastier than, and it's a campground that costs you $10,000 to belong to it. So it's 1,000 trailers right down the road here. High end is probably close to $100 a day to put your RV in there. We have a member. So, but they clean the bathrooms about every 4 or 5 days. Some guy, I think last night did crap himself and he went in the shower and hosed
Rinsed
himself off. I couldn't see it. Toilet paper was all over inside the shower. Just nasty, nasty. Stunk so bad in the bathroom. It's like, oh, I left the door hanging open. It's air conditioned. And I'm like, oh my God, I won't even go in the bathroom now. There's no toilet paper, no nothing in there. So at the Buffalo Chip, was there any day that was nasty?
No.
Every day we went in that bathroom in
They
2021.
have people there that constantly are cleaning it. It's kind of,
Church group. It's
Yeah.
church group people that they ask for tips. All the money that they raise goes to their organization. And those people do a really great job. And no, it's not the Taj Mahal. It's not
it's a
the
campground
Hyatt.
bathroom.
It's not, a big giant cruise liner. You pay $10,000. I'm gonna pay 10,000 to stay at the Chip, but it's pay 10,000. You better have a damn good toilet in your trailer. We like to take a shower in the shower house. We like the more room than using our trailer shower. We do take it if we short on time or if it's really crowded. We normally take our showers at night, so we have never. The whole time I was at the Buffalo Chip, and this is all during the rally in 2021, I never had to wait to take a dump, and I never had to wait to take a shower. I was always able to get in. We did laundry there. You have any trouble with the laundry, man?
Nope.
Up there on the South 40, they must have 20 washers. I don't know how many. They might have 40 of them. I don't know. They got a lot. They got a lot. More than any place else.
Yeah.
Some campgrounds we've gone to in Sturgis has one. The RV resort. Isn't that what it's called? One up on the hill. Had one washer, one dryer.
Yeah.
And you had to go in the office and pay them because it was a machine. They had to turn it on and off.
But yeah, the big rig RV.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So somebody asked what the dates were. So pre-rally is July 31st through the 4th. And then the official rally is the 5th through the 13th. So those are the dates. And then somebody else asked me something about where we're going. And I don't know what they meant, where we're going with, I don't remember who it was. And it just said, just gotta know where you're going. Oh, I guess maybe if you're there, not us in particular. When you get there, you just got to know where you're going.
Yes.
So
And we're going to
what
show
did they
you all.
miss? Somebody just joined.
Okay. So what do we announce? We announced today, August 10th, they're having Led Zeppelin be the main act that night.
Def Leppard.
Sorry. Same rock band during the same time.
Def Leppard.
Pour some sugar on me.
Yes.
Favorite song. And what else are they going to do? They're going to have some daredevils. They're going to have a high wire act. Legendary family, been doing it for during Evel Knievel time. Going to walk a high wire across with no net across the amphitheater. You might, well, who cares? I've done that on a zip line. Well, you're gonna have a motorcycle jump over the guy as he's walking across it. Holy son of a biscuit. It's gonna be crazy. And it can be pretty neat. Not quite sure how it's all gonna get pulled off, but we'll get more information as we get closer to it. They got a video that if you're on their Facebook page right now, they got the video. If you go down into it, you can click and see a video. It doesn't really show you anything. It's all clips that they took, pictures, stills. They made a fancy infomercial almost
like
about it.
Animation.
Yeah, like a commercial for bigger and better. I said it kind of reminds me of the big Monster Jams when they always advertise that on TV. That's what it kind of reminds me of. But you don't really get to see either two of these in this act doing it. Because I don't think they've ever done it together.
We'll be at the Chip. We're getting there the 19th of July.
So we'll
be there through the rally.
We're getting there. Why, you might say, why are you guys getting there so early? Well, I'm going to get there. We actually were in Sturgis last year, July 1st or 2nd.
No. Yeah, June 30th. So we got in.
So we got there really early last year. This year we can't. We're a little later because we're going to the 120th anniversary of Harley Davidson.
Milwaukee.
So we're doing that. And so we won't get over there till about the 18th or the 19th. And what's happening is that first weekend that we're going to be there is going to be the adventure bike weekend. If you got an adventure bike, it is worth going to. It is pretty exciting. About 300. They take you on some of the off-road. And I didn't know this. In the Black Hills, they say there's over 20,000 miles of roads and trails that you can ride your four-wheelers, off-road bikes, all kinds of things on. One of the highest points, I think it's called Mount Shasta.
No, it's Custer's Point or something.
It's one of the highest
supposed to be there
points.
in Sturgis. I don't know.
I don't know how to get to it.
I mean,
No.
it goes like straight up.
So
But Daryl Dessa sounds like something Jesse James Dupree Jackal would do.
yeah, I
They almost don't know if you want to keep this short and sweet.
so pretty neat, pretty exciting. At first when I heard about it, I'm like, I don't know. The city had the jump
It's
last
grown on us.
year. But I mean, it's something different that the chip. I think he had years ago. I think Elvis, Evil Knievel was out
In
there.
73, I think
And,
it's what if you watch the little
Did
video.
that and was involved with this. Was with this family that did this tight walk, but they didn't jump over each other. So this is something that's different. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it. I don't know which way they're going to jump. I don't know which way, because my thought is they quit the zip line. People might say that before. Why don't they do the zip line anymore? Well, that actually was a company that came in there and said, hey, we'll build a zip line. We'll set it all up. We'll run it. We'll insure it. We do it all ourselves. It came out 1 year, did it, and disappeared. And the insurance, things like that, is very expensive to get.
So Full Throttle used to have it at the old place too, the zip line.
And they don't have it at the new one. And so that wire is already there, but I don't know.
It's going to be down by the amphitheater.
Yeah, it's going to be in the
He
amphitheater.
said going over the big bar. And I don't know if that's the big engine he's talking about.
No.
But it's going to be down in the
Yeah, it's going to be down in the amphitheater. So it's going to be before. So there's not going to be a pre-band starting for Def Leppard. This is it. This is going to probably take an hour or more by the time they get it all, build it up and do the practice rides and all this kind of stuff. And because that's what I told her. I said, they would have to run, if the stage is sitting here, it would have to go this way. Because it couldn't, because you're going to have the rope would have to go this way and the bike would have to jump this way. So what I would say, it would almost, like I said, I'd have to go down there and look again. I would almost have to say, where the asphalt is that you run when you're running. If you watch the video that we just did, when you run underneath that bridge, that's all asphalt. And that's where they do the smashing of the beer and all that stuff on opening day and all that stuff. All that's on that road there. Well, that's the only where that's kind of a straight shot that they could jump. And then
over the burnouts, maybe.
But I don't think they can jump over that wall and stuff. Because you would then be jumping, because they would say that, we're going to jump over the bridges and we're going to jump. No, he's just jumping over the tight walker. So I'm saying, because you need the asphalt, you need to get good traction. On the dirt, if they were just running out there, because if you look where they put the big boulders at, that you can't drive anything but motorcycles and golf carts in, where the stage area is, I think that area is too small. Plus, you got to think, I don't think they're going to let us
People
be underneath it. That's my thought, because of liability. So if they took that road that goes through there and they close it off. So on the one side, there's vendors, Mexi Philly and 160 Biker Chick and the restaurant and the bar and all that stuff's over there. I'm looking as I'm walking through it, heading to the far parking lot. On the left side, they could rope that all off. And then on the other side, where the VIP bar and all that's at, that would be roped off there. That would be your center line that they'd be jumping over. That way, we could still bring in all the motorcycles, and all the people that want to stand up in front of the stage could all be over there where they're supposed to be. Because if not, what's going to happen is, let's say they're going to jump in front of the stage, right in front of the stage. Okay. 2, nobody can be underneath there. So once that's over, it's going to be chaos, madhouse, people rushing up there to try to get up front. Motorcycles, everything's going to be chaos. So I'll bet money that the way I just explained it would probably be the way they do it. Now, the bad news is the jump, they're awful close to the VIP bar. That would concern me. But I mean, the wind may not be so bad down there because you got the hill on the other side of you. So there might not be anything that would affect the wind. But
George said he saw the Flying Waldinis and that they used to perform with the Ringling Brothers. He saw them as a kid when he was with his family.
They say it's like 3 or 4 generations.
Yeah, he's the grandson, I think, of the original guy that started it. The bike jumping will land on our lakeside area. No, they shouldn't.
If they've gone that far, we're in trouble.
That means they
You
cleared
guys
the
not going to
museum.
Myrtle. Yes, we are going to Myrtle. We'll be
Yes.
there, the Beard. And Veronica says, hi from Hannibal, Missouri. How you
No.
doing? The
You know,
home
that's
of
one place-
Mark Twain.
That's one place out of all the time we lived in Missouri, we never
Yeah, we
went.
did.
I don't think we ever went to Hannibal. We went down and see where they painted the white fence.
Hmm.
I don't remember.
We went there.
It must have been on drugs or something.
It was way, it took forever to get there.
It's way up the Mississippi River.
It's up north in northern Missouri.
We must just drove through and never stopped.
Hannibal, the Big Muddy Barbecue is awesome. All right, so you want to wrap it up because you wanted this. He said, I want it short and sweet because I just want to do the announcement. I was talking.
But we talked a lot about Sturgis. Got a bunch of stuff put on Facebook if you guys are Facebook people. Check out our Sturgis page, the 83rd, the ins and outs or whatever it's called.
Help, info, and share.
Yeah.
83rd.
Anything you have, if you see flyers like from I got one Kickstands just put up theirs flyer the other day or this morning when I was looking, and I don't think I put it up there yet.
Sturgis 83rd Rally 2023. Share your info and help.
Looks like that. So you can join that. It's private. You have to ask, and we approve you. As long as you're not some crazy person that I look at it and
Keep
like
talking.
that some crazy person on there. And we do delete a lot of people. I actually looked through there. We've deleted about 150 people never got on. Well, some people get on there and they look legitimate, and then they put some stupid meme or something up there. You're adios, dude. We don't need.
Or if it's a spam or something like
I mean,
that. Somebody's trying to
We're
sell
not
you
selling
t-shirts
t-shirts.
or,
We're not a t-shirt site. There's plenty of people selling t-shirts, and
or a
I can't.
GoFundMe page.
Yeah, GoFundMe pages. We're not doing any of that. There's places to do this. This is just about Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Now, if you've got something going on in Spearfish or Rapid City or Custer, anything that has to do with the Sturgis, that's why I changed to the Sturgis 83rd Rally. I added that to it so people could say, hey, if it's anything that's got to do with Sturgis, the 83rd Rally, we're even talking about the concert that they're having, the Battle of the Bands. If you want to be a band and you want to
And
have
if
the
they got
chance of a
somebody, they got it.
lifetime, you can go to the Battle of the Bands. It's June 3rd, 4th.
3rd.
And
And you have to register before May 20th.
yeah, so but it's a chance that you would be the headlining opening act for ZZ Top.
How about that?
And there will be a promoter, Rod said, in the audience that might be looking at you to give you a contract.
How about that?
So that would be a once in a lifetime. If you've got a band that you're thinking about doing it, this is cost you $50 and you got to find a trip to get there. But if you do win, you get a bunch of great stuff. One, you get the hotel stay to come back during the rally for this concert. The city's picking that up. Somebody's donating that. You get a recording contract that'll be done in Rapid City. You get a promotional contract that you're going to
Professional
get.
studio time.
You get a like t-shirts and all that kind of stuff made up, designed for you, merch package. They're going to give you. What other things they giving you?
Hotel stay, professional photo shoot, airtime, interview, and radio
Yeah,
play
they
time.
put you on radio station. They're a local station, but they're going to put you on. They'll do an interview with you and also let you put one of your songs on the radio there. So that's just really kind of neat. And if it's something that's really good, they may play it throughout, the Sturgis Rally.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people don't listen to the radio while you're there, but there might be. I'm not big on radio advertising, especially for like a rally, because like us, we don't listen to the radio. We got Bluetooth, or we're using
XM, or
XM,
Sirius.
yeah, Sirius radio. We got that on the bike, or we're
How do
listening
you
to
know
the
how
phones.
many people join?
You got to go to their Facebook
Register a
page.
band?
You got to go to the Facebook page, and they'll show you the bands because they'll post when you do you have to send them a video once you approve. Once you want to join, pay the $50. I want to be in the contest. You send them a video of your band playing a song, and then they put it on their Facebook page.
Sturgis Chamber.
Yeah, and put down contest or whatever. Music festival. It's actually their arts festival, music festival. But it's really a great opportunity, more for local people. I mean, they already got a punk band there that's on there. They got an alternative band. They had another band. When we looked the other day and we made the video, they had 3 on there so far. So they still had 9 slots that could enter this. But to be able to play on the biggest stage in Sturgis, internet's really slow here.
I put Battle of the Bands behind it and it didn't like that, I guess.
Just put the Sturgis and look on there. But she's looking to see if she can find out how many bands are still signed up for that. But Sturgis this year is going to be a lot of fun. And like I say, I really like to go on the off years. We never did until we did the 80th. We've never gone on a 5 or a 10 because I never wanted to
And
deal
the
with all
80th
this.
was 2020.
Yeah. So I never really wanted, and see, 2020 was nothing because it wasn't. And that's what I told her when we booked 2020. We had no intentions of doing a YouTube channel. This was I booked it at 2019, and said I want to go to a 0. I want to see if it is. I didn't go to the 75th. Went to the 74th, and we went to the 76th, but we never went to the 75th. So we blew that one off because I'm not a big crowd person, and so I don't want to have to fight for everything, fight for my food, fight to ride, fight to do anything. And so that's why I've always gone the off years because you do get, and what's happening where a lot of people end up saying that she's telling you the 31st is going to be the official day. Actually, that weekend before the 31st, Saturday and Sunday is going to be opening day at Black Hills Harley. So there's
The
going to,
29th and 30th.
yeah. So people are already going to be showing up then. So a lot of people, if you just wanted to experience the motorcycle rally and you didn't care about concerts or anything like that, then come that weekend. Get there on Friday,
You'll see the
check
majority
out the
of it.
dealers, vendors. And if you stay that whole week by Friday and you head out on Friday when everybody's piling in, you've seen a lot of what's going on. You're going to be able to get in most of the rides. Will be really good riding you'll be able to do. You'll be able to see the things you want to see in the Sturgis area. There'll be some vendors that you'll be able to see at Black Hills Harley. Not a whole lot of vendors downtown. There'll be some of the food people down there, t-shirts and stuff like that. But a lot of the other vendors aren't going to be showing up. Like at the Buffalo Chip, they're not going to probably show up till Wednesday or Thursday of that week. We'd have to call All About Customs and see when they're looking to show up. We'll see them this weekend.
They don't start, because they don't start the pre-rally either. That vendor booth over there where Adam's at.
Yeah, so it doesn't start till that Friday or Saturday.
It may open Thursday.
So we'll talk to him too. We'll see him this weekend too. He's going to the truck show and he's coming over to Leesburg one day. We'll check in with Adam and see what day he's going to be getting into Sturgis at his location. He's right there by the dealership. So we'll kind of give you guys a little bit more. We've got a bunch of series coming up soon about doing Sturgis. If this is going to be your first year going to Sturgis and you've never been there, we're going to give you that help. And a lot of people always say that, maybe this is the first time you've seen our channel. And you're like, why do you do this? What are you after? Well, we're after because when we went to this stuff, we had no freaking idea what we were doing. We watched the TV show Full Throttle and we hung out at the Full Throttle. I like the old Full Throttle 100 times better than I do the new Full Throttle. If it was somebody said the other day that was on the channel the other night, we were talking, been the Sturgis last 4 years, they're like, I've never been to the Full Throttle since they moved out there.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
And so, which it is, it's kind of out of the way. It's the cops seem to be a little more strict out there on the road. And if you guys didn't watch this, we just had the Leesburg captain on the video yesterday. You ought to watch that one. It kind of makes a lot of sense on a lot of these rallies that we do, that it's the local police are usually a little more lenient than what you find from your state and you do the county sheriff department. And we've got a video coming up because we finally got the numbers from Daytona. And we've got the deaths, the tickets, all that kind of stuff that was done. And we've done some investigating, and we're going to tell you what up with the hassling of the police in Daytona. So we've done our homework. We just got to get a time. It'll be after Leesburg, but we'll have a video coming out about that. But if you watch the video on Leesburg, the captain talked to us the other day. Great interview, but he kind of spelled it out too. It's the same thing. And I don't want to get real big into it. You can't be driving around without glasses on unless you got a shield that's over your head. You shouldn't be revving your bike up in downtown area. If you're out on the highway or you're going through a bridge, it's a difference underneath a tunnel or something. It's kind of a different story. There's no reason.
You're in a neighborhood.
Yeah, there's no reason to have your freaking stereo up so loud that I can hear it 5 blocks away. I can hear you coming. Dude, I don't care if you spent $20,000. I don't care if you spent $30,000. Take it to one of the loud concerts that they've got where you guys can compete with your stereos, and that's great. We don't film any of that. But go to that, have fun. You'll have people applaud you because your bass sounds so good. You can
Makes your stomach rattle.
you can
your
make the girls'
brain.
clothes fall off on your bike because it shakes so much. You know, whatever a case is, that's where you need to go because the rest of us don't care. She always gets a kick out of when we pull up to the motorcycle to pull up to a light and there's like 5 dudes riding together. They got their stereos up so freaking loud and they're all playing different songs. And she's like, "How stupid are they?" You just answered it. They are stupid. I don't understand what you're trying to prove. Maybe it's a thing back when we were kids. You know, I'm not 16 anymore. You know, when I was 16, 17, I had speakers in my back window and I cranked my stereo up. I never had a loud stereo. I don't think I even had an amp on anything. I had a bunch of stereo speakers, sound stereo or speakers I bought from J.C. Whitney and had in my car and had a 8-track player underneath the dash that you could remove. And, you know, it was all about jacking your car up and stuff. And I think a lot of with the Harleys and motorcycles, I think a lot of that is those people in that age group that are trying to relive their youth. But most of us, I don't want to hear your music. You know, my bike's actually set to when we pull up, the volume on the Harley, it kicks down. Because I don't, if she needs to say something, we don't have headsets. I think headsets are stupid. We had them when we first on our first bike. We had headsets talking to each other. I can pretty much, if she gets close enough to me, even with helmets on, I can hear what she says. But
He doesn't want to hear me sing.
yeah, yeah, that's kind of what stopped it probably. Her singing in the headset because, you know, if you got headsets, when she talks, my music goes off. I don't hear her singing. So yeah.
So somebody wanted to know the list of the bands if we had them at the Chip. Friday night, the 4th, is going to be ZZ Top and whoever the winner of the Battle of the Bands is. On Saturday, the 5th, is going to be that Coey Wetzel. So, and then Sunday, August 6th, is Leonard Skinnard. Monday, August 7th, is Limp Bizkit and Lita Ford. Tuesday's going to be August 8th, will be Styx and REO Speedwagon. Whiskey Myers and George Thorogood's going to be Wednesday the 9th. And Def Leppard and the Death Defying Act. That, I guess those go good together, huh?
Yeah,
Def
that's
Leppard
right.
and
Why they did that.
is going to be Thursday, August 10th. They don't have anything scheduled yet for the 11th or 12th, which is that Friday and Saturday at the end of the rally. So that will be coming up soon. So that's it. You've been on over an hour. I think I've done
Would you
all
stop
those.
it?
Yeah, I did Veronica. Chad said you guys are awesome. There's a beautiful camping entertainment fun place. Don't drink and drive. Laughed, and then he said, I can't that Harley sound app to work correctly.
Oh,
He can't get it to do it.
Mine does. Mine's been like that. I don't know how to turn it off. I always, if it's a good song, I got to turn it up as we slow down, and then I got to turn it back down as we pull away. But now we've got the Rockford's Fosgate speakers on my bike, and what they are is we have no bass. It's all treble and high notes only. So it sucks on some songs, but the idea is we can ride 80, 90 miles an hour with helmets on, and you can still hear every freaking word of the song. And that it's so much because people don't realize that if you put bass on your bike, you lose that bass when you're traveling. Plus, anything that's behind the driver, you're not going to hear. So what's in your luggage compartment and all that, if you're driving down the highway 70, 80 miles an hour,
People behind you.
yeah, the sound's going that way, so you're not getting it. You're only getting it from your front 2 speakers. So now some people have 4 speakers, but on the front, or you got them down lower, you're going to hear those come up at you in your lowers. But pretty much everything, I can't hear her. She's got the ones that are on the side of the tour pack. I don't hear those.
Basically.
I don't hear them. And she said sometimes when we're driving, she doesn't hear them either. She hears my front speakers. So that's a typical example of that. So it depends on what you want. I'd like to have the bass, but I don't want to take out my box. I like when we travel, we need the extra storage in there. I'd like to have those drop-in ones, but once again, what are you going to do with them when you want to put stuff in there? It's like here, we're going to be over in Leesburg. Rain gear is going to be in the back of the bike for sure now. We're still going to Leesburg. Doesn't matter if it rains or not. It's Florida. It's
gonna rain.
It's supposed to rain today. Look out the window. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. We could be out there riding right now. It'd be beautiful.
Could be, yeah.
You know, it's the low 80s, a little humid, but not too super bad. It'd be really great riding. That's one thing about Florida, humidity. As long as you're riding, you don't feel the humidity as you do when you're stopped.
Yeah, when you stop,
And
you
it's
feel
hot and muggy. But I think this weekend's going to be really good. They're still talking like we're moving tomorrow. Wednesday, we're moving over to Camp Easy. Not Camp Easy. Well, Camp Easy's there. They already set up.
Yeah.
And I got all the tents all put up. And we'll be over at Windy Acres. We'll be coming in there tomorrow morning, sometime before the rain comes, because we're supposed to get a pretty good rain on Wednesday afternoon into Thursday. Now, saying that said, we probably didn't get a quarter inch of rain last night. It really didn't rain at all until, what was it, 8 or 9 o'clock? We
Yeah.
got back to the trailer and it finally, and it hadn't rained all day long. So all day you could have rode. And it, by the time, and we stayed
It
up,
was a good sprinkle. It wasn't a heavy downpour or anything like that.
I probably started sprinkling around 9 or 10, and by 11 it was gone. I mean, that's where we were at. But see, Florida's known for that. It could rain right here. We're sitting in Chick-fil-A, and right next door is Chili's, and it could be pouring down rain in Chili's,
Not raining
and not
here.
even rain at all here. And the sun could be here, and they have no sun on there. Florida's the screwiest place I've ever been for weather. But I guess rain's got to stop someplace. But you see it a lot more here in Florida. To where when we were in Daytona, the same thing happened. We'd be driving along, and it's like,
He thought they were washing off all the.
yeah, we
parking
had no
lot
rain. So we pull
in
up to
Fort
this
Orange.
big giant parking lot in Daytona, and I'm like, thinking to myself, wow, that's awful big a lot to have them.
Wash it down.
Yeah, get one of the street sweepers that must have been really dumping the water out of it. And I'm thinking, because the street's not wet, and I'm thinking, So then we got to the next slide, and I look over, and I told her, I said, oh, I thought they were, told her that. And she's like, And I go, and she goes, I guess it rained here. And then when we stopped, they're like, oh, yeah, we got like an inch of rain like an hour ago. And I'm like, oh, it was sunny over there where we just left from. We didn't see any rain at all.
We must have been following it.
So I
we never got it.
don't think we, and the whole time we were in Daytona, and some people did get wet in Daytona,
We didn't get it.
but I don't think we might have got a couple drops on us. She was spitting on you, and that was it. Could have been somebody spitting. Car in front
I
of us.
hope not. I hate that too. When you're sitting at a light, you got your arm out the window, and all of a sudden it's all this wetness. It's like, what the heck? Either he's turned on his sprinklers, or the stupid car in front of it's the one that shoots way over the top. And it's like, what the heck is that? Got some heavy duty squirters.
Likes to squirt. So, but
right.
yeah, so it's pretty neat, and I'm pretty excited about Sturgis, and which it is. No matter what you say, anybody that goes to Sturgis and says, I had the worst time of my life, unless
you make it what you want.
We'll let Mike come on and tell you about his experience that happened to him in Sturgis. And he still said, well, he's coming back this year and getting married. So he probably
even
had,
if it was probably the worst experience of his life, it was going to end up being the best.
Yeah. So you never know when you go to Sturgis how things are going to turn out. And like I say, we've never had, and most rallies are like that. And it's like I tell people, the rally is what you make it to be. If you want to sit in your tent and moan and groan that I can't sleep, I can't this, it's too hot, it's too this, it's too that. Yeah, I remember it being hot this year, but we got up early, 7, 8 o'clock, and by noon we were back. Did Iron Mountain, Needles Highway, never broke a sweat. Got back to town and like, ooh, it's hot as hell. Let's go sit in a bar someplace, and find someplace cool to hang out till it gets dark. But there's ways to get around it. But we're not big party animals either. It's going to be tough if they do the beauty contest. It's going to be long nights for us. It's going to be tough if they do. We're trying to get them to do the beauty contest earlier, but I don't know if they're going to open it up. Like here's my idea, and I brought this to the Buffalo Chip last year. I said, you look on YouTube, and you'll see Sturgis. The number one videos that are getting 1 million hits, 1 million, is the beauty contest. I can just tell you, go to Prime Cut Pro, 1.4 million last year for one of his final thing. And it's like
documentary too.
Yeah, and you can look at those guys, and there's probably other ones too that I don't know, but we know those two guys. There's videos that they did that brought the biggest 1.4 million people
watched it.
Yeah. I said, screw it. Don't have it all week long, like they do every night. Have one day that you do the contest, starts in the afternoon. That way you fill that chip up with people all day long. First thing they have the bikini contest, and they have the homemade one, and they have the whatever, all the contests. I don't know all the
formal, whatever.
All the different wares that they do. And then at the end of the night, you can do the last one at midnight. But I said you're spending so much time and so much effort to put something on, and the only people you have there at night is usually most people that are a bunch of drunks that
it's at the end of the concert.
Yeah, so they're there anyway. So they're just hanging around and whistling at the girls. But would you come and spend a whole day at the Chip to see the whole thing? And you could still have some house bands and stuff that could come in and play in between the girls changing and things like that to make it a really good. But I mean, I think that would, and you could still do the grand finale one if you wanted to do it on Friday night or Thursday night. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they do it on. I don't know when they end the contest. It would kind of suck to do it on last Saturday night when there's really not hardly nobody there. But I'm thinking, and you could still have the girls all week long, could still be doing the bikini wash and they're working the bars and different things like that. You can check them out and talk to them and stuff. I'm not even sure how they vote. I think they have judges. So I would actually like you guys to vote that it would be like American Idol, that you could get on our channel or the Sturgis somewhere,
Buffalo Chip
and
Channel.
you could go on their Facebook page and say, I want to vote for this girl. I want to vote for that one. I want to vote for this one. They're kind of doing it with the poster girls. They put that up the other day. They've got 6 girls, I think, right now that's going for the poster girl. They do that at kickstands, all the contests they've done this year. And that's all. You almost have to be a local to be dealing with that. But it's a great deal. I think the girl gets $6,000 or $7,000 for the winner. So it's a pretty neat thing for it, and a bunch of other stuff you get too, promotional stuff. But that's already going on. But you get to, I think there you get to vote through the Sturgis page, through the
Buffalo Chip.
Buffalo Chips page. You get to vote, but it should be more. I think to get you, which is one of the things I complain about the Buffalo Chip. They have, like, oh, this is what we want to hear. What does Bob not like about the Buffalo Chip? Here's what I don't like about the Buffalo Chip. I don't like their YouTube channel. And the reason is it's a really great production of videos.
Excellent
They
videos.
do great work. They do TV quality commercials. Very excellent. But it's more of an infomercial. There's no face. There's
They
no,
don't monetize it.
yeah. And so they're not making any money off of it. And I think, which we talked to Rod about it, and he said, I said, we'd be happy to help you with this and help you get your channel, because this is the part that drives me crazy. So the Buffalo Chip, would you not say that it is the largest campground event center for motorcycles, people?
Period. In the United States.
In the world. I'd go the world. The Buffalo Chip, the Full Throttle, you say that they were the largest, they had the
Biker bar.
largest biker bar. I went with that before. I don't buy it now. It's not the same. They've really lost a lot by moving out where they went. But that's the choice they made, and they're living with it. And it's a whole different atmosphere now. It's industrial, and there's nothing wrong with that. Michael Balance are a
Cool.
great guy, and Jesse, we love Jesse too, and they're great people. But the Buffalo Chip is what I watched the other night. We watched the Full Throttle, and I don't know. This almost sounded like realistic numbers, but it was Jackal, and it was 20. What year was it?
2009.
Okay.
So we went to 2010.
Yeah, so it was a year before we went, and we watched that. That show's the one that made us go out there. Talk to Cindy, talk me into going. Well, he said we've got about 18,000 people probably in the audience watching Jackal. Well, if you looked at that crowd, we've seen Jackal. We didn't see it last year, but we went 2 years before. We went out and watched Jackal. It wasn't 10% of that crowd. I don't even know, there was a couple thousand out there. But big difference from being where they're at now to the old one. And
I don't know if it's because where it's at.
but I mean, they got
But
the campground out there.
Oil's getting bigger, so I don't know if the Jackal crowd will stay out there, then more will go to the concerts. I don't know. Like I said, we didn't go last year,
Yeah.
so.
So Pappy Oil's still got full hookups. If you're still looking for a place for some full hookups, the girl just came on our Sturgis page the other day, and she's back out there working now. They closed it up for a while. They had snow out there. It's just had 28-degree weather again this last week. Crazy weather in Sturgis, and 72 degrees a couple weeks ago. A week ago it was 72, and so yeah, just crazy out there. But she's back out there, and Pappy Oil is one of the few. Probably we haven't talked to them yet, but what's the other one out there that? Shady Acres. They probably still have some full hookups. Those are the
Shade
two.
Valley.
Shade Valley, that's it. Shade Valley. They probably still have some full hookups out there. They're 2 campgrounds that aren't quite as popular as like the Buffalo Chip. Buffalo Chip is putting in more full hookups. They will not give us a count at this time because they're not done yet. Rod is one of these people that doesn't like to say anything until it's done. When it's done, then he'll be happy to talk about it, because he doesn't want to pop anybody's bubble. We talked about the American Flat Track. Probably we won't see it till 2024, but they're supposed to start construction soon on it, but who knows how long it'll take to be done. Rod, when we talked to him the other day on the phone, he's saying, actually, when I seen him down in Daytona,
Hey,
he told
Riz.
me he's thinking more 2024, but he let us talk about it. And I think that's going to be a really great thing to be coming to the Buffalo Chip. Once again, they're trying to build up to their 45th. And I think it's going to be a great thing to have more motorcycle racing than they've had. Because it's kind of, that's one of the things. They have racing out there. And they've had flat track racing out there before, but people don't know where to find it at because the campgrounds just, you look at the basic campground, but you don't realize over in Camp Zero, there's a whole other establishment going over there. They got a field over there. They do the mini bike races and
The hill
stuff.
climbs and all that
But
stuff.
this flat track, I think it's going to be inside the campground. It's going to be running around your RV. You'll be in some of the campsites will be in the center of the flat track. Flat track racing is probably going to be a day or two of the rally. It won't be the whole time. But and so that's what I'm thinking. We haven't seen the final plans. We've seen a couple rough drafts when we were out there in October. But I just to me, having it more in the campground area is going to make it better than if it's over there. Because when it's over there, it's kind of out of the way, and they got that little campground there.
Well, and that's another thing. As many times as we've been to the Buffalo Chip, and as many times as we've talked to going over to Camp Zero to see the EVO show and the Sportster show and the mini bike rides, races, and all that stuff, we've never gone.
No, it's just which is one of the reasons why we're staying there is because we want to find out. And let's say we're setting up with extra camera people, and a lot of the stuff you're not going to see till after the fact. What we're going to be doing at the Buffalo Chip is every single morning, we're going to have a rundown first thing in the morning of all the events that are going on at the Buffalo Chip. What's free? There's a lot of freaking things going on at the Buffalo Chip that are absolutely free, don't cost you a freaking dime to come to, other than your gas to get over there on your bike. Free parking, free everything. Now, there's a lot of great things going on inside the Chip. And people always say, wow, everything's so expensive over the Chip. We got dollar beers and we got dollar hot dogs during the day in the campground. I didn't know
Fill your
that.
stomach,
I had no idea.
get your buzz.
I had no idea. But there you
At
go.
Woody's,
That's right. Woody's Bar, wherever that's at. I think it's down by
Bikini Beach.
Bikini Beach. But I have no idea. We were there in 2021 and never seen dollar hot dog, never seen dollar beer.
Gotta find them.
That's right. And we're going to show you where it's at. So we'll be showing you, and we'll be giving you videos up until the rally starts. We'll be putting some videos out daily, and we're going to show you. We got all the great rides. We're going to show you on. We're going to rank the rides for you that I feel is the most experienced, the fun ones to go on, ones that I don't like that we'll still show you about. I'm not a big Devil's Tower or a
Badlands guy.
well, Badlands to me is it's just so freaking far away. It's like 90 something miles from Sturgis. So you're already going to spend about 3 to 4 hours riding out there. Well, bad news is there's really not a whole lot there. There's no place to eat, no place to drink. Oh yeah, you can ride through the park, and there's a bar on the other side. I can show you 100 bars that will blow those bars away. That you don't have to drive 125, 130 miles to it, and then 130 miles back. Nobody likes a drunk riding on a motorcycle. So,
And you should.
yeah.
Save
So there's a
yourself
lot of
and-
great, and it's if you've never been there, you want to drive out there and see it, that's great. And if you've got the extra time to do, like I said, if you're going to spend 2 full weeks out there, I'd probably do it. Devil's Tower is a little different because you've got a lot of other choices you can do with Devil's Tower. Bad news is a lot of people, that's one of the things we'll talk about soon, is a lot of people are saying, hey, can I get a federal pass to get in all the parks? No. Custer is a state park. So is Needles Highway. It's part of Custer State Park. So you have to pay. If you buy this one, you can go to the other one within 7 days. Mount Rushmore is a federal park, but they charge you for parking.
Not to get into the park.
That's right. So it's $10 or $5 for a motorcycle. I think it charged $5 for the motorcycle last year. 10 for a car. Many people you can jam in the car. And so if you go over to Devil's Tower or you go to the Badlands, that's federal. They do not have any disabled passes you can get in South Dakota. They do have a military discount, which I think is like 10%. But I think you have to order that online, and it may only be good for a yearly pass. So there you go. Now she's got a beautiful America pass
America the View.
that gets us into Devil's Tower and gets us
Badlands.
Badlands. Devil's Tower is the same way. There's not much to see. They got a visitor center and that's it.
They got little groundhogs.
You drive around it. It's $20 to
Prairie
drive through there, and you could actually stand right out by the boat. There's a restaurant, bar slash store slash KOA next door. You can get some great pictures from right out there. Unless you're a hiker and you want to hike around that stupid thing, we're not those kind of people. She can't. She couldn't make it anyway. Maybe in her younger days, but not now.
Yeah.
So we pulled right up to it. Took some pictures there last year. We've been to Devil's. That's the first time
We ever went
in
inside.
20 years that we ever went around the inside. And the most exciting thing was seeing about 200 prairie dogs popping out of the ground in this one little area when you
Looked
first
like
come in.
guacamole. Guacamole.
And so other than that, that was it. But I mean, just like Mount Rushmore.
Thanks.
Mount Rushmore, you can actually, especially on a motorcycle,
Fun.
cars do it too. Right before you get in the entrance, there's a pole off there. You can get some great pictures. There's nothing to see inside Mount Rushmore. They got a museum downstairs. I don't think we've ever gone to it. They got a little cafeteria. They sell ice cream. They have homemade ice cream.
It's Thomas Jefferson's homemade recipe.
Yeah.
One of the
I
presidents.
think it was Thomas Jefferson. And that's about it. They got a little store, sells junk. And last year you had to have a mask still to go in there. Couldn't wear, the restaurant didn't make you wear a mask, but the
No.
other one made you wear a mask in the store. Museum, we never even went down there.
But you can do tours on that too.
Yeah.
You can pay and they'll take you around back or you can get way up close.
And then at night, which we're talking about this year, right now it's about $80,
George.
$90 a person to get a shuttle from, we would do it before the rally, pre-rally time, probably like Tuesday, Wednesday or something of that week, that we would take a couple vans over. And what they do is they pick you up at 5 o'clock, take you someplace, you get something to eat, then take you up to Mount Rushmore and you get to watch all the colored lights on
on
Mount Rushmore,
Rushmore.
which I've never seen, which would be kind of neat.
Yeah.
It would also be good because you could have some drinks and you don't have to worry about it. And they bring you back and they drop you off at the campground. But it's about $80, $90 per person.
And we'd only
and-
be about 10 of us that would
Yeah.
get to go.
And so people go, wow, that's a lot of money. Well, they're paying to get you into, they're paying the parking to get in, and you're paying for that driver is what you're doing. You're going to have a driver for 5 to 6
I think
hours.
it's 5 hours.
And so, yeah, so they pick you up at 5, it'd be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're back somewhere around that time, I guess. And so you're paying for the driver to be with you more than anything else. And but it's something to think about. And George brought it up and said he was thinking about maybe getting a handful of us to get there early to maybe set this up. So we're still looking for how many that want to do it. We kind of talked about it a little bit on months ago on our channel to see what we really didn't get that many people interested in it.
So if you're interested in something like that and you're going to be there before the rally starts, email us and let us know, hey, I'd like to do the nighttime Mount Rushmore thing. So we kind of have an estimate of how many people want to go. I know George and his wife was one. I think Mike and Patsy might want to go.
And then
I don't know if
somebody else
Carrie
said,
will go.
somebody else said
I
that
don't
they wanted to
remember
go
what.
too. So we almost have enough for one van already. I think they said you had to have a minimum of 6. So we've already got 6 already. And I think the van will hold 10 or 14 people. So we can, the more we get in the van, a little bit cheaper we can get the price. Right now it's about $90 if it's just 6 of us, $90 a person. But it's kind of like one of them like nice things. Plus you spend a little time with us, and if you want to do it, and not have to worry. You can have a few drinks because that's one of the things I don't drink when I ride my motorcycle. You know, if I have a beer or something like that or a drink, that's about it. I'm not going
I'm
to.
sure we could even get some Irish whiskey for you there, Rod. He says, good deal, chill party and no DUIs.
Yeah, and we know how to do stuff at the Buffalo Chip too. If you know what I mean. Blinky, winky, winky. And so we know the rules of the ins and outs of the Buffalo Chip.
Hour and a half.
How to stay out of trouble. And no video tonight. I had a video to let you know if you're coming to, maybe I'll make a short out of it. If you're coming to Windy Acres, they've got about 100-foot, maybe even longer than that, slip and slide. This sucker is like a racetrack. This thing, I bet you it's a block or 2 blocks long. It's pretty long.
I know. You walk down to the bottom of it.
We're gonna
I
send
didn't.
her down. She's gonna go down there. Her swimsuit's probably gonna fly off. And you end up in this little swimming pool at the bottom.
Yeah.
Looks like fun.
I bet you I'd hit the pool and go off in the mud. That would be my luck.
And so that's exciting. I'm already just make a short out of it. I had a video I was going to do it tonight, and we had to do an ending on it. And we did it, and then I found out Camp Easy Ride had already set their stuff up, so it's not on the video. They came yesterday and set up. We went Sunday to do this. We thought we'd go out there and help the guy, and he's like, "Oh, it's a little late now. You could have been out here dig. Oh, you can go looking to dig a ditch." But I was looking to do some.
I told him
painting
we'd
some
be out
lines and
early
stuff.
on Wednesday. I said, so if you got anything else you need some help doing, we'll be out there to help doing. So it's all done now. I was like,
Sorry. We just thought Wednesday wouldn't be. We want to get there before the rain. We don't want to have to deal with Thursday getting everybody fighting to get in. So we're gonna have the RV out there, but we're also spending. If the weather doesn't get nasty and crazy.
2 days.
Thursday night and Friday night, we're going to be in Camp Easy Ride. We're going to be showing you what the experience of inside the tent and show you a whole bunch of neat stuff. We're going to do a live from there on Thursdays. The plan Thursday late afternoon as people start coming in. 4 o'clock he opens the tents, so we'll probably do a walkthrough before, and then we'll stay on the live as people start arriving, and they do a lot of neat things. I don't know if I told you that. People are supposed to decorate their tents so you know which tent when you're drunk and stupid to come back to. We put a blinky light in front of our trailer. Blink, 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 blink. Something out there.
I don't know. Have to go to Dollar Tree when we leave here, find some stuff. There's Jeff Paul. Good morning.
And so today was all about the announcement of the band for August 10th at the Buffalo Chip, which is
Def Leppard.
Leopard. And they're going to have a high wire motorcycle jumping event.
Death defying.
And somebody could die.
Good. Don't know.
No nets.
No.
So they're going to have this tight walker walk across in the amphitheater there. They're going to walk across this tightrope, the longest he's ever done. And when he's right in the middle, a motorcycle is going to jump over him. So he'd be near like this. And, oh, we're up too low. Or he's going to go, ooh, and everybody's going to go, ah.
Special effects.
I'm just giving you what could be.
A visual.
That's right. It could be either one. Maybe we'll go. You want to get some finger puppets? Maybe we'll get a finger puppet of a motorcycle rider and a finger puppet of a guy walking on a rope. You can put a little rope up here, and you could do the little act. How's that sound?
Oh.
He likes little things like that.
I found some the other day, and they weren't that expensive.
Well, they were like, geez.
No, they weren't. They were.
No,
like,
they were nursery rhymes. They
yes.
were like they look stupid. I thought you were gonna get some look like somebody. You could have a little cowboy, and you could make your own.
I might have to.
Make you some little finger puppets.
All right, we need to wrap this up because I gotta.
I need a refill.
Well, say goodbye.
Look, we were at, I want to thank Chick-fil-A here in Four Corners. We're not in the Four Corners up north. We're in the Four Corners down south. It's a county of Four Corners. And for letting us do a live from here. And
Yep.
nobody was hardly in here today except for that. Earlier, we had that screaming kid at the beginning. But they left, finally. So now it's quiet. There's only 2 other people. We're across the room. They probably don't want to be on TV. We told them we're talking to our family again. So I want to thank
Our
everybody.
Patine family.
That's right. So I want to thank everybody for coming on. We'll be doing some lives. We have no video tonight. This is it. We'll bring a short up about the slip and slide. Show you where that's at. And then tomorrow is Wednesday. I don't know if we're gonna have a video tomorrow or not.
Lots to
And
do
then
in tomorrow.
Thursday we start our lives. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we may not be putting any videos out till afterwards. And then Monday night's video
Hey, Sue.
Monday night's video will probably be about what we think our Leesburg turned out. A lot of people say it's going to be a washout. I don't say that. Once again, look at the sky. It's a 60% chance of rain today. Could it rain? Heck yeah. Could it not rain? Heck yeah. It's Florida. Welcome to Florida, the liquid state.
The liquid state. Sunshine state, but it rains an awful lot down here. All right. So thanks for hanging out with us today. Hope you got a lot of good information. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up.
And
Ring
wax
that
on,
bell for notifications, and we'll see you on the next video.
wax on, wax off,
Bye, Sue.
wax off, on, wax off.
Goodbye.
Gotta hit the little thing.